following podcast is intended for mature audiences. The opinions expressed do not reflect this station or any affiliated partners. Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek EZ.
Well,
Ooh, we went straight
Hey,
into
look.
the opening.
right into the opening. How cool is that?
Oh, hey, look at that. We even got a TV going on now.
Oh, the Rovers, the ones that sing that continuing story of the unicorn. I heard that song when I was a kid.
I'm apparently not familiar with that one.
It's like, and that's why you've never seen a unicorn to this very day, because they play in the rain when the ark is starting to float away.
Oh, they've been around since 1963.
How do we get on this?
Well, I was telling them that I had a song stuck in my head. And the song specifically was called Drunken Sailor.
Oh, that's right. You just said that was we were talking that while the intro and all that stuff was going on.
Well, apparently some folks had made some remixes of their songs, and Drunken Sailor was one of them, and damn if it isn't a good remix of it.
Well then,
Yeah, hey, we got a
Yeah.
background and everything. All we need now is the booze.
that's coming. That's coming. We'll have drinks and stuff soon.
The budget will work on it.
Every week it's something new. But hey, everybody, how's it going? What was I going to say? We've got some stuff to talk about, and I'm sure that as the conversation goes on, like what it always does, we just ramble and ramble till nothing happens.
Till? You mean something happened before?
Well, sometimes things happen.
Well, shall we see if something happens now?
Well, what are we going to talk about first?
Oh, it's not like we're lacking for topics.
Well, let's start with Daredevil. We'll start with Daredevil and see what happens. Because it would appear that Netflix, even though Netflix did not cancel it, Disney canceled it, or Marvel canceled it, which I didn't think they had the possibility they couldn't do. I thought it was all Netflix on that one. But
Yeah. Yeah, I think Wolfie and I had a discussion not long after that announcement, and we have a difference of opinion on the matter. My personal opinion is that they're looking to consolidate all their stuff onto their Disney streaming, and so that's why they pulled the plug on Daredevil now that it's third season's out. And we can probably expect the same thing for Jessica Jones and Punisher once those are out.
yeah, what we got? We got one more season of both, right?
Yes.
But I don't know. I mean, there have been rumors floating around that Marvel has bigger plans for Daredevil, and that would mean possibly bringing him into the cinematic universe.
Maybe, but I don't know. I'm dubious. Now, Wolfie's apparently silent at the moment.
I'm here.
You're not going to tell me what your opinion was?
I honestly don't remember this conversation.
Maybe it was Badger. It was one of you guys. We had a discussion, and there was strong feelings about it. Actually, it sounds more like Badger, not Wolfie. My bad. This is why we kicked the box away.
Yes.
So his opinion was that they can't do that because it's under contract. To which I say, unless the contract actually had it in there, or a clause in there where they could do that. And apparently they can if Disney's was the one who pulled the plug.
Yeah, but it's really funny because Netflix is the one who actually funds it.
Well, they funded those, obviously, or those seasons, and they still are going to be showing them, but I suspect, like I said, that they're just going to pull it all together in their own stream. They want to consolidate and lock in their customer base, just like CBS All Access and HBO Go.
Well, they're the only shows that I know that they're going to be doing are the Loki show for Marvel and the what was the other one? There was a Loki and a Scarlet Witch television show, which supposedly Paul Bettany is going to be part of as well.
Oh, it makes sense. Are they using the same actress though?
As far as I know, yeah, because I think they'd only be short run series, kind of like maybe 7 to 10 episodes or something like this. These are just rumors, though. These are things I'm hearing. But there would be those two shows, and those are the only ones I know that are slated for the streaming service, Disney streaming service, because those would be the two Marvel shows, then start the two Star Wars shows, the Cassian Andor show, and the Mandalorian show, and then everything else would be all Disney related.
Well, they've got to pad their portfolio somehow.
Well, I know DC did it. Look what DC did. They started their own streaming service, and I guess they've got tons of stuff on there to watch, old cartoons and all that kind of stuff.
Well, again, you're locking in your customers. And
Yeah.
I'm not in favor.
I think DC has the advantage, though, of a lot of those cartoons happen to be owned by Warner Brothers to begin with. A lot of the older Marvel stuff probably is not owned by Disney.
Yeah, they probably haven't gotten the rights back to those particular productions. Though it could be a case that Marvel's like, yeah, we don't want to admit we did those.
Well, you'd think the Incredible Hulk, the Lou Ferrigno Hulk series, at least somebody would have some interest in.
I think Fox owns that actually for some reason.
You mean Disney?
Well, so Disney will own it soon enough.
Well, yeah, that's true. I really am looking. I really, really hope that, completely derailing and going to Star Wars, I hope that Star Wars Episode 9 has the Fox logo in front of it.
I admit I kind of do too, just because I miss that. It's just not the same without it. At least it feels that way to me anyway.
I kind of like the new background. What do you think of the new background?
It's very fancy. It's not quite so dark. And we got Jace in the chat. Hi, Jace.
What's going
Also,
on,
Firefly.
Jace?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
It's all right. It happens. Should we stick on to the Marvel stuff? What else was there? There was, big Marvel news this week was the Captain Marvel trailer. You know what? I bet you the Captain Marvel trailer dropping is why we didn't get the Avengers one.
Could be.
Well, we're secretly getting both female Captain Marvels in one movie.
That's I'm not buying into that rumor. I really don't think that Annette Bening is playing Marvel.
That's not what I was saying. We're getting the Captain Marvel, the black one that led the Avengers.
What?
Rambeau is in the movie as Captain Marvel's wingman when she's a fighter pilot.
Oh.
I don't know. I think you guys are stretching. It's probably more of a throwaway right now. And if there's enough interest, they might expand upon the character.
Oh, I know it's a throwaway right now, but the character is in the movie, and her pilot name or whatever is Photon, which was her superhero name for a while.
I am the Photon.
In fact, she was actually Captain Marvel before the current Captain Marvel was.
Well, the current Captain Marvel changed her name a few times. I mean, she was Warbird too. Which honestly, I kind of liked that one better.
But my hope is if they're introducing Rambo, that means that someday we might get next wave Agents of Hate.
Agents of Hate. Why am I not familiar with that?
Yeah, it was a hate group. They were blocked.
No, actually, Hate is a good guy organization, and Next Wave is like their superhero team. It was a Marvel kind of comedy comic book thing, including a guy called the Captain, whose original name was so dirty Captain America beat him up.
Well, then.
He was Captain. They don't ever say what it is. It's just always, that right. It's always just symboled out. Captain, whatever. And supposedly he doesn't even remember his original name now. And let's see, Machine Man is part of the team. Rambo is the leader. I think there's one other person. I don't remember them all.
Huh.
I'm definitely not familiar.
You're not familiar with. Yeah, I'm not familiar at all with that one. Well, then again, I stopped reading Marvel comics for a very long time. As we sit here and stare at each other.
No, I'm too busy staring at the screen behind us. It's so pretty.
Isn't it though? It really does. It makes the room. I think the lights are a little bright, but who knows?
Oh no, I was talking about her.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, her too. Yeah, you know what? She really doesn't do anything for me. I mean, she's an attractive woman, but
she's
all
shiny glowy.
Now, yes, when she was shiny glowy in the trailer, that was pretty badass. I really wish I could show the trailer, but last time we did that, we got in trouble.
I laughed when she slammed the old lady into the bus rail.
At least they kind of explained that in this trailer that, yes, it's a Skrull.
She was really spry, I noticed. Yes,
yeah, she was kicking some serious butt.
I know that goes kind of against my usual rule, but because people were going to talk about it, I figured I'll watch this one. I'm not a fan of the mohawk look, though. Never was.
You know what's really funny is so many people were expecting that Jude Law was playing Marvel, and I was like, Marvel didn't wear a green suit. Oh yeah, that's true, he did, but I was like, no, I don't think he's Marvel. He's not Marvel. And of course, he's not playing Marvel. He's like Ron Tog or something like that.
Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy, the Hedgehog. Why would you bring that up? See, we're trying to keep the show on a semi-friendly, family-friendly thing. We try, but we don't always.
I didn't say anything about hedgehogs. You brought that all up yourself, buddy.
Oh, that's Ron Jeremy, not Ron Burgundy. Never mind. My bad. See, I went there. See,
he told you. It's that old age kicking in, wearing yourself out with them chillins.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. So sorry, everybody.
You get all your Rons mixed up, and you probably don't want to do that.
No, I don't want to do that. I apologize, everyone. I really do. I'm so sorry.
Oh, on the Captain Marvel trailer, that's not a cat. That's a flurkin.
Oh, flark you.
As opposed to a merkin. See, I'm just going all over the place with this one now. And for those of you who don't know what a merkin is, look it up. I'm not going to say it. Google's your friend in this one. Just don't look at the pictures.
That might be a new low for us, mentioning merkins.
It might be. I honestly think it might be. I think that's like scraping the bottom of the toilet right there.
We hit rock bottom and started digging.
We haven't hit rock bottom in a while. And it's really funny because Badger is not here, and neither is Alistair. I hope Alistair gets some good sleep. His new job is kicking his butt.
And we don't have Tade, which definitely would is the way we get into the dumpster most often. Of course, we haven't had Tade in quite a while. We need to correct this.
That's true. We do. Speaking of man crushes, you brought up Tade. You brought up Tade.
I have man crush stuff I can talk about.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That was a lead in to something that was shared with the rest of the gang here the other day by Wolfie, which I giggled at. I didn't respond, but I giggled at.
Hey, you can giggle at all you want. I mean, I watched a YouTube video of Henry Cavill and Simon Pegg discussing British slang, and Cavill was talking in his real accent, and he just jumped to the top of the man crush list. Like he wasn't. He was barely on it before, and now he's above Hemsworth. There's something about that man's real voice and accent that is just like, oh my god.
I'm sorry, but sorry.
Sorry,
Hey,
not sorry.
I am straight, but that man is stunning.
Oh, I'm not going to deny that the man is really good looking, and he really should be in. He should be a bigger action star, bigger movie star than he really is, because he's got like the classic square jaw and stuff. And if they're going to recast Han Solo,
they have to let him talk in his real voice, though.
he did in Mission Impossible, didn't he? Oh no, he used an American accent in that too, didn't he? I'm not exactly sure.
That's his,
He also
actual one?
he also looks a lot better when he doesn't have that weird Superman hair.
Well, what's his
True.
actual accent?
He's
He's
British.
British. He has a very kind of posh, I think, probably London accent. I don't really know British accents all that well, but it's
that would be my coworker. I know it perfectly.
Coupled with that deeper voice that he has. Oh my god, it is. I showed the video to my wife, and even she was like, "Wow."
Yes,
Woof.
quite right. I can't mimic my coworker. He is from London area though, and it's distinctive.
I will also say it was one of the few times I've seen him doing press where he seemed fully relaxed and actually enjoying himself, because it wasn't like a normal press thing.
He wasn't hawking a film or anything, right? He was just having an interview.
Well, no, it was him and Simon Pegg doing press rounds for Mission Impossible, but a lot of these YouTube channels don't do normal press stuff. Like they have them do different stuff, like discuss British slang, or I know Wired does the autocorrect interview where they have them read the top most searched things about themselves and stuff. And it tends to get people a little more relaxed because it's different from, oh, tell us about the movie for the 2000th time today.
That's got to suck. It really does have to suck.
Well, and Cavill is one of those that's been known to not enjoy that whole grind, especially because he's not known for having the passion for acting that other people have. I won't say he dislikes acting, but it's well known that he does enjoy the pay aspect of it, I think, more than the art.
Well, he's come right out and said that many times.
Yeah, I'm not criticizing him for it by any means. It's just you can definitely tell in a lot of press stuff he doesn't enjoy it.
He just does it because, well, they're paying me to do it, so.
Let's see. In other news, what else do we got?
Well, before we get too in depth, we can mention real quickly. Greg Paulson, who we've had on the show a couple times, is doing a commission sale right now. So anybody's interested, we've got the details on our Facebook page. So just figured I'd do a quick plug for him.
Quick plugs are always good. Why do I just keep smiling? Something is really wrong.
Quit being happy.
Well, no, it's just like every time I talk, it's just a smile. That's really, really weird. See? It just starts with a smile every single time. Freaking me out.
Yeah,
It just has to do with the starting position.
You're just going to have to talk with the animation team about that. Going to have to QA them.
I'm just going to have to figure out why the camera is only... You know what? It could be I don't have enough light in here. Because this is all camera rig, the head movements and stuff, and it reads my mouth, and it reads everybody else's mouth as we're talking, and it reads mine as a smile. And even though I'm not smiling right now.
You have resting smile face.
Resting smile face.
It's the opposite of resting bitch face.
Yes.
Before we get too far away, in other Marvel news, there is talk of giving Shang-Chi a movie. And talk about your not super well-known Marvel characters. Shang-Chi is definitely high on that list.
Yeah. I think I've only read two of those comics.
I'm not familiar with them at all.
He's basically Bruce Lee.
Not the first time that's happened. And Firefly saying, what happened to the feed?
Why? What happened to the feed? Is it not going out?
Oh, the chat's doesn't show up on screen anymore.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what Firefly's talking about.
No, it's for okay. Something wrong? Are you not see? Just maybe refresh. I don't know. Don't have
Okay,
a clue.
we'll keep going. But yes, Bruce Lee comics. Yeah, it's not the first time that's happened. How many times have they basically cloned him for fighting games?
I know, but Shang-Chi's been around for like 45 years now, and there's some belief that he could blow up like Black Panther with a movie, but
Probably
I
in
just
the
don't
Asian
know.
market.
But I think Black Panther is a much more well-known character than Shang-Chi.
I would not argue that point.
Like Black Panther has always hung out, kind of with the A-list Marvel characters or been in their, sphere of influence. Shang-Chi's probably a C-lister at best, I would think.
So if we were to rank them like, Avengers being the A list, Defenders being B list, you're saying he's below Defenders list? Arguably.
Yeah, I mean he's had his own book and stuff, but it was, in the 70s when they were doing all those different kung fu books, and Iron Fist has always kind of overshadowed him as the Marvel martial artist, I think. So I don't know. I don't even know that much about the character.
That definitely going very obscure, but I suspect if that's the case, they're reaching for the Asian market big time with them, which, granted, it's definitely a moneymaker. It makes sense. Jace, you think Defenders makes B list? Yes, they're not the top tier guys. That's why they're the
It
Defenders.
depends on which version of the Defenders you're talking about.
We're just going with the main one. We're not going to look at the Ultimates version.
I mean, let's see. Shang-Chi, I know he has an association with Heroes for Hire. I guess he has hung out with the Avengers a little bit, but that's like modern stuff. I know he's created by Englehart and Starlin.
Well, if he has, I certainly haven't seen him in any recent Avengers books.
I haven't seen him in ages. I didn't realize. Is he still even active within the Marvel stuff?
During Secret Empire, he was found to have been a prisoner of Hydra. I guess he had a cosmic cube shard at one point.
I suspect that they just have a hard time bringing him into modern stories because, well, the basis for him was probably questionable at the time.
Yeah.
Well, he's the son of Fu Manchu. I know that.
Marvel was never one to, even though they did do stereotypical artwork and stuff, their stories were never stereotypical. They tried not to be, at least in the 70s and stuff like that when he showed up. But I know it's like if you go in the 60s, yeah, some of that stuff is kind of dated, especially like the early Iron Mans and stuff like that.
I mean, let me put it this way with Shang-Chi. Here's a list of some of the characters he teamed up with in his Master of Kung Fu book. Iron Fist, White Tiger, Jack of Hearts, and Rom.
Rom is everywhere.
Rom is in the Transformers comic books now.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Yeah, because Marvel doesn't have the rights because he's based on a toy.
Well then.
Yeah, Rom's not a Marvel character that I'm ever aware of.
Well, he was in the Marvel comic books, but then it was because Hasbro's always maintained the rights to the character. That's why he hasn't come back in a long time.
He was on some variant covers. They did a lot of ROM variant covers, I don't know, a year ago? So he was popping up all over the place for a little while. I think he was on G.I. Joe, he was on Transformers, he was on some, I think, on an Avengers cover.
Rom was on an Avengers cover?
Yeah, I think one of the variants. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I'd seen them.
Yeah, I know right now he's doing all the crossover stuff with the Transformers, G.I. Joe. That's IDW, right?
I think so. Well, either them or Devil's Due. I can't remember which off the top of my head.
Pretty sure it's IDW.
But yeah, apparently Marvel doesn't even necessarily retain reprint rights for the old stories featuring Rom.
That sucks because he was a cool character. Still is actually. They've done a good job over at IDW and bringing in all the other knights and stuff like that to help defend with the Transformers and all that kind of stuff. It's been interesting.
I want to say that he actually made an appearance in another crossover. For the life of me, I can't remember what it is, though. I can picture it. I can see the page where he was there, but I can't recall which book it was. It was a recent one, too.
Not a clue.
Yeah, I
couldn't tell you.
I'm not sure either. I'll have to look it up and figure it out.
You know what really stinks? I want to walk away and get myself something to drink because I forgot to, but if I do that, we just sit still, and I don't have a "we'll be right back" thing yet.
We need to make up some fake commercials to run.
That would be funny.
It wouldn't be the first time we've come up with false sponsors. Like, oh, I don't know, we could come up with something like the newer, better tumblers.
Oh god, that's not even the Tumblr situation is insane.
Yeah,
It really.
a lot of folks a little bit out of shape on that one.
Well, and whatever like automated system they're using to flag porn like doesn't work very well.
Well, no, because they've lost a lot of their engineers apparently, and so it's the whole thing's breaking. Verizon bought it; they didn't put any money into it, and they're not retaining the engineers that they had. Those guys are just booking it because why stay for something that is not when they get better incentives to go somewhere else.
But the last time I checked, though, this was not confirmed, but there's rumors that somebody even reblogged the announcement from Tumblr about adult content and being gone and everything, and supposedly that reblog was tagged as adult content.
Yes. Also, a specific example of things that would be allowed, like the Statue of David, a picture was put up and it was flagged.
It's got a PP, man.
But that was a specific example by the CEO said it would be allowed.
Yeah, they said art would be allowed and stuff. It's just been tagging all kinds of weird stuff, like stuff that doesn't even come close to nudity or pornography.
Every time somebody posts a video of a train going into a tunnel, porn.
Apparently, it not only can it do that, it can also look at your drafts that you have saved, and if it finds something wrong and flags it, and you have to put in a review for it, the human person looks at it, and then they put it out, and then it will be public, even though you weren't done with it yet. And apparently, it also applies to your messages, so it goes everywhere within the website.
Yeah, I don't use Tumblr. I have one, but I don't think I have anything on it. And it's no skin off my nose, or it doesn't bother me at all. It's like, okay, it's just one more area that's trying to clean its act up. I mean, Facebook doesn't allow it. Twitter does to a point, but they still have they have a stopping point where like, oh, you can't post that. So
Yeah, but Tumblr was kind of built on this sort of stuff. There's a lot of fetish stuff that gets shared through Tumblr that
well, yeah,
they're not sure where else they're gonna go now.
yeah,
they're
I
kind of
know.
running everywhere. Newgrounds is apparently relevant again.
Newgrounds.
Isn't that old Shockwave cartoon and game site?
Yep.
You lost me on that one.
You don't know about Newgrounds?
Nope.
How do you not know about Newgrounds?
I didn't
I
even
don't
know
play-
Newgrounds still existed.
I don't play video games like that, man.
It's not that kind of game thing. All kind of flash animation stuff, or at least it used to be. And
Yeah, all
videos,
those browser-based games and stuff.
a lot of the viral videos from like early 2000s and such came from Newgrounds. Charlie the Unicorn, for example.
Charlie.
Apparently there were sequels to that. I didn't know.
Yeah, but they're nowhere near as funny as the original.
It's a little tough to top the original, though. Oh God, they took my freaking kidney.
Nah, you posted that the other day, and I had to watch it at least 3 times and laugh every time.
Charlie. Boy, that's so creepy.
I don't know, but it's like for some reason they remind me of Michael Jackson, the Michael Jackson from South Park.
You know,
I don't know
could
why.
be. Pitch, maybe?
Charlie, we're going to Candy Mountain, Charlie.
Candy Mountain. Land of sugar and sweets and goodness. All right, fine, we'll go to your Candy Mountain.
Yeah, apparently Newgrounds has even had to add server capacity. There's been such an exodus from Tumblr to back to Newgrounds.
Yeah, a lot of artists are basically booking it out of there. And like I said, considering how stupid that their AI is right now, and they're not really putting the money in to improve it. Yeah, I can see why. I'm actually half expecting to see some of my posts get nailed for whatever reason, but hasn't happened yet. I'm waiting.
Why? What do you have up there?
Well, mostly it's textual stuff, but I put up artwork from this place, that place, and also I'm doing the December thing, the December art challenge again. And some of those images might be construed as being lewd. I don't know how, but because they're in a bikini. Oh God.
Now, supposedly though, they're not banning like erotic writing and stuff. It's just imagery.
Well, not too many people can. I don't know. It's people. I'm still going back to the bent out of shape comment. It just made me laugh when you said bent out of shape involving the adult content on Tumblr.
I didn't think about that.
Lots of that stuff is very bent.
Oh, it's beyond bent. I mean, it's.
We won't get into that. To be fair, they had a legitimate cause to ban certain things that, a lot of the members were saying, hey, you need to stop these things. Stop the porn bots. Stop the child pornography crap. This is legit stuff to do. What? You want to ban everything? We're doing it! It's like, don't do things in half measures, guys. You need to kind of tone it down a couple degrees. But apparently because Apple pulled the Tumblr app from their store, that was the impetus to actually kick it off ahead of time, because they were been planning it for a while. There are things you can find out on Tumblr still.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of all the corporate sponsorship, we are now, the Geek EZ is now actually a Twitch Prime. streaming channel and all that kind of stuff. I didn't realize that because I have Amazon Prime, I could connect the two, and we now have a Twitch Prime, which means I guess people can subscribe to us now.
Ooh, that'd be cool. I mean,
That would be cool.
we don't really have anything to give you for subscribing, but it'd be cool if you did.
Well, not yet, but I mean, I
Not
will
yet.
have to make some stuff up. Getting
Yeah.
you like some emotes and stuff like that, and things like that.
Hey, Jace is a Twitch Primer. Do it, Jace.
But I'm not going to sit there. I mean, we've gone this long without having any sort of anything. It's just nice to have people listening to us and joining us in the conversation.
Yeah, quite true. Although Firefly is apparently having some issues because they ain't heard a word out of him.
Firefly, are you still out there?
Hopefully he's not muted or something. Anyway, other topics. Let's see. Well, before we get into some other stuff, let's see. We talked about the Captain Marvel trailer. We talked about Daredevil, because the mouse is consolidating everything. And Shang-Chi. I think it covers, Avengers trailer Friday.
Yes, that and again, it was supposed to be out today, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, originally it was supposed to drop this morning. They bumped it to Friday and something else to Saturday.
That's again, there we go. I keep smiling every single. That is freaking me out, man.
You're just so happy to be here.
What? Do you not smile much in real life?
No, it's just the animation keeps putting my smile up, or it's like I don't know if there's a noise that it's hearing that keeps putting it up there, but it's really weird. It is catching the eyebrows right, so I mean I can sit there and go like this and get an angry face if I want to.
Yeah, it's the Far From Home trailer that's dropping Saturday, Spider-Man.
So we're getting Avengers, and we're going to be getting the Far From Home.
Jace mentioned something about the Bumblebee trailer. I think we've discussed that a couple times.
Is there a new one?
I think so.
The movie comes out in like 2 weeks from now, and I'm going to go see it on Friday because I have early access tickets.
Oh,
looking forward to it.
Bully.
Huh?
It was just English slang.
Bully.
Jace feels that I was very lucky of you to have those tickets.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's really lucky of me. I mean, I had to buy them. You still have to buy them, but I got them before they sold out. I missed the ones for Aquaman. They actually added a second screen for the Aquaman at my local theater, but it also sold out very quickly.
Speaking of trailers and DC characters, we got a trailer for the Elseworlds crossover, and I have to say, seeing John Wesley Shipp back in costume was pretty cool.
Yes, it was. And I love the fact that that was Earth 90. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did. So, but now we know they all kind of that Flash series is sort of part of the Arrowverse now.
Well, they've always been working towards they've done the multiverse thing because Supergirl comes from a different universe. She doesn't exist in the Arrow universe. On their universe. She comes from a separate universe.
They cross over
very easily, actually, which is kind of weird.
It's very Super Friends-ish. They did a lot of that sort of thing too. Oh, we're just going to go back in time, or we're going to go to the future, or whatever.
I was really surprised that they went with such a hardcore comic book look for the Monitor.
Yeah, he's really over the top, kind of. It's almost cosplay.
I also can't figure out why he's apparently a bad guy.
I guess we're going to have to watch it and find out. When does it start?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Oh, I have to say, Supergirl is really slow playing their version of the Red Sun storyline that they have going on in the background. I mean, literally, it just goes sometimes more than one episode without any update on it. But we keep seeing the other Supergirl training with the Russians and stuff. It's weird.
That was
It
a
was-
really good book.
It's a little weird in spots, but yeah, it's a good book.
Well, right now, which one? What am I reading? Oh, I'm reading the Doomsday Clock. Tank, you picked any of those up?
I have not. I know of it, but I have not picked them up.
They're playing with the aspect that the metahumans in our universe, outside of the Watchmen's universe, because the Watchmen's come from a different universe, an alternate reality, alternate universe. They're playing up the fact that the metahumans here on our universe, they're becoming a not so liked kind of very incredible slash Watchmen thing where they're shunned and they're looked down upon, and the only one that anybody can actually trust is Superman. And Osmandius was trying to fix our world the way, and he was in contact with it, and he was trying to do it. It's a really weird storyline. They haven't even gotten Superman facing against Dr. Manhattan yet, which is supposed to happen.
Dr. Manhattan, I hate to say it, would crush Superman.
They actually have scenes because Manhattan, because he exists outside of real time, he cannot see the outcome of what happens when they meet because he sees Superman attack him, but he doesn't know whether or not it just goes black. I don't know. He goes, I don't know if Superman kills me or I kill him, but I cannot see it.
Yeah, maybe it just means you got knocked out. He cold cocked you.
I mean, because technically he should be able to just snap his fingers and Superman would disappear.
Pretty much.
Kind of unrelated, but I have a stupid DC question relating to characters gaining godlike powers. Did they ever resolve the whole thing of Batman seeing who the Joker really was when he was sitting on that chair?
No. Not that I'm aware of. I think when he was in Metron's chair, right? Or whatever his name is.
He sees apparently like there's 3 Jokers or something, but they never it seems like they never went any further with it.
As far as I know, they'd never resolved it. They just, because that was part of the New 52, and when the New 52 was negated, that kind of just disappeared. I don't know where they were going with it. So,
I mean, I think it still ties into it. I just don't know in what way. And good point is that they might not know either.
that's true. That might have just been a red herring. They kind of threw it out there and said, hey, we don't know what's going on, but hey, Firefly, have you gotten us to work yet? Are you there? Can you see us?
Jace is commenting about everything goes black. It's a fixed point in time. That's too many crossovers, man. You don't even bring Doctor Who into this.
Well, no, the Batman Mobius chair thing was 2 years ago. Wouldn't that have been after the end of the New 52?
I thought it was right towards the end of the New 52.
Maybe it was. I can't keep track of all that. They change it up so often.
And this constantly with the bringing Superman back, and is he dead? Is he really? I don't know. I don't understand it. I thought they merged the two, and now all of a sudden they're trying to bring the other one back.
He's merged.
Yeah, well, I know he merged. I have those books, but I guess they're trying to bring the New 52 Superman back as his own entity.
Why? We don't need him. We have the good one.
I know we have the good one. We have the one who's been there, done that, and has the T-shirt. But this is what they're doing.
Is this a Bendis thing?
Yeah, I do believe it is. I am really thirsty and I cannot get up because if I get up, we just stop moving. What do I?
Well,
I could put the starting soon thing up as long as you guys keep talking and work over it. I can set that up so that it'll actually catch your voices because right now it mutes everything.
it's a good thing that we actually don't have video here, because otherwise you wouldn't see me drinking this water.
No, but we can hear it, the echo inside the cup.
Delicious water.
I'm gonna smack you right through the computer screen. I was just like, whoosh, ah!
We're in a bar and you're drinking water. What are you, the DD?
Actually, probably. I don't drink alcohol.
Really?
According to PETA, you're not supposed to eat meat or even talk bad about it now.
This is. Did you see the image that they put up? Like, eating meat interrupts sex or something like that. It was two guys with a chicken between them, and they're just really put out.
It
looks more like the chicken pulled a move they weren't expecting in bed.
Either that or they pulled the chicken out of somewhere and they were not expecting it. Any way you look at it, it just looks wrong. It's like, were they having a threesome with the chicken? Was the chicken stuck somewhere? What's going on here?
It's a really stupid ad.
I'm still trying to figure out, how does meat interrupt sex?
I don't know. Well, I could imagine we can talk about some ways, but there's a chicken involved.
They're claiming because of the vascular and heart issues that it causes that it can lead to ED.
I don't see how you can get that from the ad.
Well, I don't know. I have a hard time maintaining any sort of arousal with a chicken in bed.
That sure would probably put a stop to that, but all the same. Actually, hang on a second. I had a good comment on it. Continue talking.
Well, I mean, in all ways, I love the progressive nature that they put two dudes in bed with each other. I was like, okay, but why is it two dudes and a chicken? Because that just has all different kinds of meanings to it, and it's kind of actually degrading. It's like it lends itself to the whole gerbil stories and all that kind of. It's just all kinds of bad. It's just wrong.
Okay, meat interrupts your sex life. That's what it says, and somebody captioned it saying this PETA ad looks like they had a threesome with a chicken and it blew their minds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And an old coworker of mine said, I don't know about blown minds. The guy on the right looks quite disappointed. So, well, maybe he just couldn't perform, hence his disappointment. It's like, there's a chicken here, man. I just can't do it.
Maybe the chicken was better than he was.
Yeah, that could also be his disappointment. Like, I can't compete with that.
Now, my question is, did they choose the chicken instead of the rooster? Because then there would be the whole cock issues.
But I'm Tish.
It's always a white chicken. That's racist.
That's racist.
No, but their other one. Do you see the new one they just posted about the terminology that's speciesist, which isn't even a word. Speciesist is not a word. You know what? We are the top of the food chain when it comes to land-living mammals, and there's a reason for it. It's called eating meat. We ate meat, we got smarter. The proteins and stuff in meat made us smarter, and therefore here we are. But this ridiculous nature that we can't even talk about it now. We can't say bring home the bacon or kill two birds with one stone, or what's the other one? They gave you examples of what you could say instead of bringing home the bagels, which I think is kind of anti-Semitic. Or what about people that don't eat bagels, or people? I don't know. It's just weird on that end. And then there was the feed a bird 2 scones. Well, you can't feed a bird scones because scones will kill birds. They just posted that too. That bread hurts the birds, so you shouldn't feed bread to birds. But
to be fair, that's not inaccurate. Especially they're like, ducks and whatnot, they can't digest it, whatever. That's fair.
Well, but then again, would you feed 2 birds 1 scone? No, you'd kill both birds because instead of killing them with a rock, you'd kill them with a scone. Oh, the other one was beat a dead horse, and it's now feed a fed horse, which is also animal abuse because if you're stuffing food into a horse that's already full, all you're doing is causing colic and it can die. So PETA can go kiss my butt, especially since they are the animal rescue people that kill 80% of the animals they rescue.
Don't send your pets to them. Oh, they'll find a good home. No, they will murder them.
So
These,
yeah, I mean,
they're so hypocritical. It's just amazing.
the whole idea, I mean, in these PETA, it's like, you know what? No. Animals taste good for a reason. Some
We-
animals.
We prepare them well.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, meat just tastes good. If it didn't taste good, it's kind of like berries. You know what? There are certain berries we're not supposed to eat, and guess what? They taste horrible. When you eat one of those berries, it tastes bitter, it's foul, and you spit it right out because it could kill you. But a strawberry tastes really good. A blueberry tastes really good. We're supposed to eat them. If chickens were bitter when you bit into the meat, guess what? We wouldn't eat them. If cows were bitter or foul tasting when we bit into them, we wouldn't eat them.
Well, that argument can actually be countered, though. Carolina Reaper. How are we still eating that?
Well, we're not supposed to because the amount of capsaicin in a California Reaper is technically deadly. And it's there for a reason to keep us from eating it.
Oh, hey, Firefly's
Stupid people
talking.
do. What's up, Firefly?
You got it fixed. Yeah, Firefly's like, not to be confused with the cockatrice issue. Those are nasty. And Jace commented that Firefly's pun was badger worthy. So well done, Firefly.
The puns are free, even if they're coming from the audience.
That's perfectly acceptable. And see, Firefly points out that for the record, that Semite is not a synonym for Jew. Wolfie, is that true? Did we lose Wolfie? Did we lose everyone?
I'm here.
Okay, Wolfie must have passed out. We should make an animation where it's just something we keel over if we don't talk for a little while. See also, goose liver pate. Just where did this nonsense come from? Because we as humans will find everything we possibly can to try to make it into food. Look at haggis.
It's sheep stomachs filled with meat and barley. How revolting.
I kind of admit I would probably try it once if it was prepared properly, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get it.
I don't know if I've ever had haggis. I've had quite a few other foods, but I don't think haggis was one of them.
I will avoid sauerkraut and kimchi. Yeah, those just, nope, not doing that. And pretty much most seafood items, I've tried them. It's just, seafood's definitely not my thing.
Oh no, see, I love seafood. I will eat the crap out of some seafood. And I like sauerkraut, but kimchi, not so much. Kimchi, the fermentation on it is just a tad bit too far.
I will say that I am on the seafood diet. I see food, I eat it. That's how I roll.
Well, I don't eat pate. I have had it, and it's one of those, yeah, I won't eat it just because. It's like I won't eat veal because a cow at least has grown up, it's lived a life and all that kind of stuff, and it was killed as an adult. Veal doesn't even get to move, and that's wrong.
Huh. So Firefly has brought that up because it's talk about force feeding horses. He thinks goose liver pate is made involving a similar process. I haven't a clue about that. You force feed goose? How do you do that? You can't even fight them off.
Oh no, they're stuck in cages and they literally shove pipes down their throat and just stuff them full of fattening food. It's just horrific, and you shouldn't eat pate. It's not worth. It's one of those things. Just like veal, you don't do it.
Okay. When we're talking about mistreatment of animals, I would count that as a definite mistreatment.
Yeah, there are no free range pate goose.
I don't even think it would be possible.
Seriously, Wolfie, you're just sitting there blinking. What the heck, man?
He did say he was going to be right back. I
Oh,
saw
he
it.
did?
Yeah, I saw it in the cantina.
I really need to get an animation when somebody says they're going to be right back and we just transport out or just puff off in a puff of smoke or something. I do plan on having something special made up for us for the Aquaman when we start talking about Aquaman. We are all going to go see it, right?
Well, I imagine I'll see it, yeah. Probably not the same, not the same night it comes out, but
before the show, right? You'll see it before the show.
When's it come out again?
This actually, we probably won't have a show because of Christmas that week.
Then I'd imagine. Oh yeah, we usually go on our holiday break. When are we doing that actually this year? Oh, we can talk about that after the show.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll talk about it. But I mean,
either way, there's a good chance I'll see it.
But yeah, I have something special planned for that. And maybe we'll do it the week before. I'll get all hyped up for it. But I do have something special planned for the way we're going to look. And I might actually have something, it might change to a Christmas theme. I don't know. We'll see. Technically, I should have a Christmas thing going on right now because of the holidays. True. And a menorah.
Well, it's a work in progress. Oh, well, speaking of that, actually, sorry to cut you off, but you reminded me, it's kind of tied in together. Say we need like a Christmas thing and a menorah. I guess at the Illinois State Legislature, they have something similar. They have something for, Islam and Christianity and Judaism and the satanic cult.
Yes, Firefly, Judaism is a religion, but Jewish people see you don't have to be you don't have to practice Judaism to be Jewish. The actual Hebrew people they come from, it is an actual thing. It's like Arabic people and Iranians and all those they're still those are races and those are ethnicities, whereas they practice Islam. But there are non-Jewish Judaism practitioners and followers.
As the resident Jew, you can be ethnically Jewish. It is considered by many to be an ethnicity.
I think we talked about that either not on the show or after. They said that they actually did studies and there is some genetic differences.
Yes.
Oh, there are definite genetic markers for Judaism, but it's becoming more and more diluted over the years.
To be expected.
Well, because Jace was just asking what I would do holiday-wise to decorate the Geek EZ, and I'm thinking possibly a Christmas tree in one corner. I'll have menorah sitting on the bar, and I'm trying to think for Kwanzaa, I could probably throw something up there so I can get everybody in there as once. Because as far as I know, there's no Islamic holidays that fall right around the same time.
Excuse me, the only holiday celebration we recognize around here is Festivus.
That's it. I will just put up the aluminum pole, and that'll be the end of it. There's our holiday decoration. And we will air our grievances.
It is time for the feats of strength.
The problem with that is that, having a silver pole in a bar, that might suggest something else.
The Jawa might start swinging around on it and taking off the robes.
Oh, God.
The Jawa is around. I will let everybody know. The Jawa is around. He has stuck around since the Shaven Wookiee days, and he might make an appearance sooner or later.
Jace apparently approves of the silver pole. Okay, then. But yeah, the Illinois State Legislature has something for the Satanic Church now, which is surprising.
Really? That is really, really interesting. What does the Satanic Church do around this holiday? That's what I'm confused about.
Let me see if I can find the article.
Yeah, I know Halloween is a big one for them, but I didn't think Christmas and its connotations, or Hanukkah, or any of those, which all deal with some form of religious background. I mean, Hanukkah is a very religious holiday. Christmas has its roots in religion. Again, I don't know what Islam has around this time of year. I'm not big on the. I don't know. I'm very, very unknowledgeable about the Islamic holidays and stuff.
Satanic temple placed a sculpture of forbidden fruit in the Illinois Capitol.
And it's basically just a statue of a hand holding up, looks like an apple, and there's a snake wrapped around it.
And it says, knowledge is the greatest gift.
Yes.
Well,
right next to a nativity scene and a menorah.
And a Christmas tree.
Well, you know what? When it comes down to, at least they're acknowledging everybody, and I'm not going to sit there and go, they did it for everyone instead of saying nobody could do it, because there are so many places out there you can't have a Christmas tree, you can't have any of these things because it might offend somebody. They at least want the other side.
Well, and the Satanic Temple is very misunderstood. They're not, devil worshippers in the sense that most people would use the term.
Either, I mean, they've always been the silent one out there, I guess now, because of all this everybody screaming for religious freedom for Islam and Christianity and all that kind of stuff. They decided, okay, you know what? We've been quiet up until now, and now we're going to start saying stuff.
Well, they've always been about promoting egalitarianism, social justice, and the separation of church and state.
Yep.
Please excuse the puppy dog that's running around.
It'd be funny if that actually was animated. Just suddenly this little yipper jumps out of nowhere.
I think the whole thing is they use satanic imagery to things like the Illinois holiday display. They would sue to gain access, and many places, rather than let them have access, would shut the display down altogether, which is actually more what they wanted.
Yeah,
true.
Well, according to what they're doing, they're not trying to convert anybody. They just said, as an organization, we do not believe in proselytizing.
Go ahead.
Quickly looking through as to what they're really about. It's meant to push back against monuments about Christianity and Judaism that have dominated the religious discourse in the state capital during the holiday season. He added, the sculpture has nothing to do with actually worshiping Satan, and is actually a statement about separation of church and state. I don't know how you'd get that out of there, except for maybe the knowledge is the greatest gift part, but okay.
If I remember correctly, they don't even believe in the concept of a supernatural Satan. They use literary Satan to promote skepticism.
I have not done any sort of research on that kind of thing, so I wouldn't even know.
I've got no clue.
I've glanced at it before because they always get mixed up with, like Aleister Crowley's stuff and everything, and they're very different.
Interesting times we live in.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, how cool it would be if my kids were growing up in like the late 70s. All the stuff that they take for granted, it's just like everywhere they turn, there's a screen or a computer, and knowledge is right there at your fingertips and everything. It's like, my 6-year-old son, he knows more about certain things than I do just because he can watch a video about it on YouTube, or he was, at the age of 4, he knew what all the clouds and the weather and stuff was because he was fascinated by it. So he looked it up, and it was like, I couldn't do that when I was a kid. You'd be like, that's a Sirius cloud. That's a cumulus cloud. I'm like, really? I didn't really learn that stuff until I was in middle school.
But it's a good thing. I have certainly no problem with that.
Yeah, me neither.
It is a little disconcerting when it happens, but all the same, hey, you're at least learning, you are reading, carry on.
Exactly. I'm not going to deny that kind of thing, but the aspect that they're being bombarded with a constant barrage of information at all times, no matter where they go, is kind of disconcerting. There's no downtime. There's no quiet time. I force it at home. It's like, okay, it's time to turn the TV off. It's time to turn off all the tablets, everything. Just turn it off. Go play a game, read a book, do something else that doesn't involve a screen or something yelling at you.
Well, what I find unfortunate is that schools are on this big thing of getting parents to reduce screen time, but they've removed recess from so many places or reduced it. And that was what helped kids learn to love the play outside was recess at school.
I loved recess. I mean, I got out of the classroom.
Yeah. I mean, it was great. I mean, recess was good, and I limit their time. They are allowed 2 hours a day of tablet time, and what's really funny is they will watch TV, but they'll shut it off on their own. So I really don't have to worry about that. They don't sit for hours on end. But
No.
the constant barrage, it's kind of disconcerting.
I sit for hours on end, and that's because it's part of my job.
Yeah, same with me. I sit in front of a computer for 8 to 10 hours a day. I mean, even longer on days like this, or if I'm playing video games and stuff like that. It goes on forever. And I have realized as I've gotten older, this is how I know I'm getting older. I have to start wearing my glasses to stare at my computer screen. I am extremely farsighted. I always have been, but I've had pretty good close-up vision. I was never 20/20. It was farsighted and I saw further away better. Now I'm starting to realize to read or to look at my tablet or my phone, especially early in the morning, I have a hard time literally making out anything. I can't even read the directions on a bottle. And I don't know how much of that is from just staring at a screen all the time.
Hard to say. Jace commenting, soon they'll be doing calculus in elementary school, like in Star Trek. I remember that episode.
Somehow, a poll by the Hollywood Reporter found that only 25% of American adults consider Die Hard a Christmas movie.
Yeah,
What?
they're wrong.
I was going to say, that's all the people who are wrong.
That's like Batman Returns is also a Christmas movie.
Yes, actually, I would agree with that.
Trying to think, there was another one that was, is it a Christmas movie or not? Star Trek Generations, supposedly a Christmas movie. I think that's a
Very
stretch.
brief.
Yeah, it's a stretch.
That's a stretch because he sees Christmas when he's existing in a realm where time doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think it counts.
Die Hard actually takes place at Christmas at a Christmas party.
The same thing is to be said for what was it, Batman Returns. It takes place at Christmas.
Here's the thing, though. In the case of Die Hard, what company is so callous as to have their workers show up for a Christmas party on Christmas Day?
Was it
Welcome
Christmas
to
Day?
corporate America.
Well, technically it was Christmas Eve.
Well, I mean, if it's a Christmas party and they're all going to get, I mean, they're not working.
Like my jobs, we have a holiday party, but it's always in January.
Russian Christmas.
Well, it's more a case of your family comes first. You have your time with them, and then the company will put on a holiday party for everybody and just kind of go over how the company did and all that. And here's food on us, etc., etc. But that's after you've had your time with your family, which makes more sense to me.
Yeah, makes sense to me too.
And for the love of God, Jace, no, we're not touching that one. That is the word we do not speak here.
Trump, 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 Trump,
You
Trump,
son of
Trump,
a-
Trump, 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 Trump.
I don't have any way to kick you.
Trump, 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 Trump.
Really?
I would knock you to general voice, but I don't know if that would knock off the whole thing.
It would. No, actually, Teletrain would still be there. I would just disappear.
Really?
Don't kick me. Don't kick me. Don't kick me.
I was kind of curious. Now this is for science, man.
Well, no, you know what? No, I did that jokingly just because there are so many people that just the very sound of his name turns them into like raving savages.
Well,
These are the same people that get offended by the term kill two birds with one stone.
Well, he infuriates me too, but that's neither here nor there.
Does the mention of his name make you really want to pull your hair out though?
No, because I'm already losing my hair. I don't need to speed it up.
No politics.
Okay, no politics.
That's
no
why
politics.
we don't speak the word.
Okay, you know what I find really funny? That Christmas exists in Star Trek.
Well, why wouldn't it? I mean, to be fair, they did say that, humanity as a whole moved beyond it. But then we see, like in Voyage and whatnot, there are still the traditions that are maintained, like for North Americans or Native Americans, I should
it
say.
doesn't mean that it necessarily exists as a religious holiday.
But it is still a tradition that's maintained. And it's a tradition. It's not a bad one to maintain.
I mean, because a lot of people already, Christmas is more of a secular holiday than a religious one.
Well, I mean, if we're going to go into the religious side of it, there's no way that knowing the way that the Middle East and Israel is where it's located and all that kind of stuff, the weather around Bethlehem and all that kind of stuff during December is kind of cold, and they actually do have snow on the ground. So I'm pretty sure that the flocks of sheep would not be out in the middle of the wintertime. Most likely, the man who, yes, there are historical records of a person from Nazareth named Joshua, whose mother and father were Mary and Joseph, all that kind of stuff. But if you don't believe or all that kind of stuff, he was probably be born sometime in April or May. So the whole Christ and Christmas thing, it's kind of I don't know where that came from. The Catholic Church sometime.
Basically, at least the Christ and Christmas thing, that's more of a modern creation.
Well, I think it's the Catholic Church.
Well, the whole beef about it is, you need to put Christ back in it. The people who put X on it, those were friars who did it. Christian Catholic friars who were tired of writing out, Christianity and whatnot. They made it X because X is, I can't remember if it's like Latin for, Christ. So
yeah, I think it had to do with a cross or something like that.
Oh no, it was part of the language when they wrote it, because they had to, transcribe everything. They just got sick and tired of writing it over and over again, so it was a shortcut.
Either way, I mean, I it's like Easter and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you go back into the histories of it and all, it was a pagan holiday, and it was just adopted by the church sometime in the 2nd or 3rd century, 4th century, or whatever it was, because it was more of that, if you can't beat them, join them kind of thing. Oh, yeah, and I think that's where Christmas came into. Christmas was more of a, you know what? Because there were other pagan holidays around in Germany and stuff like that dealt with trees. Yeah, I mean, the Christmas tree, I think, it's a Germanic thing, and it was a fertility rite kind of thing, because it was always green no matter what and all that kind of stuff. So it was a case of can't beat them, join them.
Well, it's not really that. It's actually very Roman. A lot of our traditions in regards to Christianity is of maintaining Roman methods of doing things. And I think we've covered this in a previous show, but to kind of sum up, what the Romans used to do when they were big, polytheistic, is they would just incorporate things and say, hey, that's a neat, ritual you do. Yeah, we'll include that, and he's actually tied to this god, and and so on and so forth. And when Christianity came along, they, it was a slow going process, but they kind of did the same thing to them, even if the Christians did not do it in return, because, one God versus many gods. And then you get to the point of the siege of Constantinople, and I can't remember the name of the emperor at the time, but he basically did a deal where, hey, if your God will bless us and give us victory on the battlefield,
it's Constantine, isn't it?
Actually, it might be Constantine. You're right. Thank you. We will convert completely to Christianity, but at the same time, he was talking to the other temples as well for their blessings. So it's very Roman. He was hedging his bets.
I know
they converted completely, and as time went on, other things that would be considered pagan were just incorporated, because that's what Romans did. So that's why we have a lot of this stuff today. The Romans have lived on in a very warped, convoluted way.
Well, I know the modern Christmas tree tradition, though, stems from 16th century Germany.
Yeah, the Tannenbaum. And I mean, we have a lot of traditions and stuff. I mean, Santa Claus, Father Christmas, that is very Germanic as well. And everybody's like, "Oh, Saint Nicholas was Turkish and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff, or Hungarian or some one of those." I'm not exactly sure which, but the traditions that we follow and stuff, uh, some people do, some people don't. I mean, there are other holidays. I mean, Jewish holidays like Hanukkah. Hanukkah has been Hanukkah for a very, very long time.
Yeah, but Hanukkah is not a major holiday, or wasn't a major Jewish holiday for the longest time.
Well, it's because of Christmas. It was one of those. Well, wait a second here.
Like
Wait a
Hanukkah is
second.
not a big deal in Israel.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea. Presents all week.
Yeah, but it's not useful presents really. Well, it is useful, but just not the kind of presents you want. I was like, oh great, you got me a notepad. Oh great, I got a set of pens. I see where you're going with this. You want me to do homework?
You know what the cool thing was back. I don't know what they do in schools now when it comes to these holidays, but when I was going to school in the late 70s and early 80s, elementary school, because we had, I mean, it was a pretty 50 mixture in my school, at least, of Jewish students and secular students, and Christian students and stuff like that. We had days where, like, we learned about Hanukkah and the traditions of Hanukkah, and the Jewish students were allowed to share some of the stuff that they did, and the Christian students were allowed to share their Christmas stuff. Whereas nowadays, you couldn't get away with that in school because, I mean, you can't talk about holidays that deal with religion or anything, or the religious aspects of the holidays have to be kept out of it, and you have to keep it secular. But I mean, I learned what a dreidel was and a menorah and all that kind of stuff at the age of like 6 or 7 years old. It wasn't
I've
until much later in my life that I found out that I have probably most likely have a lot of Jewish lineage.
I found out about that stuff in community college because, well, here in the Midwest, I wasn't exactly inundated with folks of the Jewish tradition, so it's one of those things you just didn't learn about. I knew of them because you learn in history class about the Jewish Holocaust. Well, the Holocaust, Jews, Gypsies, everybody, yeah, was involved, but you learn about that, but you don't really know much about them just because you don't have any interactions with them. Hell, you guys are the ones I have the most interaction with for that side of things than anything.
Chicago has a reasonably large Jewish population, or did at one point.
Yeah, I'm not in Chicago.
New York has a very large Jewish population.
We willing to bet Chicago still does. Remember, I come from rural Illinois. There's a small town, well, comparatively speaking to Chicago. I'm sure there were some. It would not surprise me. I probably had as much chance of getting struck by lightning as running into somebody who was Jewish.
I know when my parents moved up to upstate New York when I was in high school, a lot of the kids had never seen a bagel before. And I was like, what do you mean you've never seen a bagel? You have no idea what a bagel is. And then they introduced bagels into the school lunches or breakfasts and stuff. And everybody was like, oh, bagels are awesome. I was like, those aren't real bagels.
Well,
You
a lot of people don't realize how rural most of New York State really is. They think of the city and that's it.
I've driven through New York. It's very rural. I still have no idea what the hell those people do for farming.
I don't know where these people shop or go to work. I mean, I have driven, I mean, like you drove the same road I had to drive to get to my mom's house. And when you're driving through there, you'll see a house and you're like, what do they do for a living? There's nothing here. It's trees and mountains and a highway. And the next town is like 70 miles away.
There's
What
pasture.
do you do?
There's clearly farms. There's pasture, and there's signs for towns. Like, where's the freaking town?
You forgot about the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but that's in Cooperstown. That's only like 3 hours from New York City. I'm talking like when you're driving near Buffalo, like between Buffalo and like Binghamton, dude, there is nothing there.
It's very pretty countryside. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, it's gorgeous in the fall.
But I have no idea what the hell's going on. You really have no idea. Dairy was clearly a thing because you can see from the barns, but I don't know what they do now. Once you get started, like in getting towards Ohio and such, you're like, okay, we're getting into the actual farmland. Forget that New York farmland; it's not real. Fake farm.
No, New York has. I mean, New York farms. I mean, around my mom, it's all corn and cows. That's all it is. It's cornfields and cow pastures. And there's I don't know. It's they farm and stuff. Now it's not like Ohio where it flattens out and you can have a cornfield that goes on for, I don't know, 700 acres without hitting a hill or something.
I gotta say, flying into Chicago is interesting because it just rises up out of the corn.
I don't know how low you were flying.
I think the scariest airport to fly into was Denver.
Never flew into Denver.
Denver never bothered me.
You do it on a windy day, dude. My airplane came in sideways between the mountains, and that's how we came in, because I was coming in from the west, and they had to circle around because of the wind. It was high winds, and it's in the mountains. It really, I mean, it's like you're flying through mountains. And to land, we passed between two mountains in the wind sideways, and I was like, "This is nuts. This is crazy. We're going to crash the mountains, and someone's going to eat me. It's going to be bad."
I like that's your thought process.
Reagan National. Now that is a horrible airport to land at.
DC.
I'm not talking Dulles. I'm talking Reagan.
The little one, the little airport out there.
The one that the runway literally ends in the river.
Well, Binghamton, New York is like that. When you fly out of Binghamton, the end of the runway is on a cliff.
Let's see. With Reagan, it's a short runway, so they brake super hard. But the other thing is you either stay super high and then drop out of the sky like a stone, or fly in along the river. I mean, neither approach works very well.
Yeah, flying into Binghamton, New York, it's really weird because the end, and it's usually the end you come in on, and it's the end you leave on. You fly because the winds always seem to prevail that way. If you're on the tarmac, they're taxiing down, they hit the throttle, you're flying, you go, you're looking out the window, and all of a sudden the ground just disappears. They don't even have to lift off. It just disappears because it's like a 200-foot drop at the end of the runway. And coming in, you're like, oh, cool, look, we're about 200 feet off the ground. Oh my God, there's ground. And you landed. It's like, okay, that's weird. How did we get on the topic? We went from Christmas and religion to flying into Denver and airports.
Yeah, we didn't even cover some of the other topics that we did have.
Well, I don't have pictures for those, so we can just talk about them. But unfortunately, the screen behind us will stay the Geek EZ logo.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's not a whole lot to really discuss. I mean, you got Ron Burgundy podcast. Apparently, that's going to be a thing now.
Stay classy, Chicago.
Stay classy, Pyongyang. My brother and I, a few years back, actually made a Ron Burgundy-esque parody Twitter account, specifically to mess with the North Korean news organization. It was kind of entertaining. And we would use Ron Burgundy quotes to do it, like, "Holy cow! Stay classy, Pyongyang." Various other things like that.
What was the other stuff we had written down? Picard, right?
Picard, Rambo 5. Oh, yes, and Bethesda. We should save that for last.
Oh, yeah, because they just keep digging that hole. I thought EA was bad, and I thought EA was Bethesda's like, here, hold my beer.
Yes, but we'll get to that in just a moment because there's not a whole lot to talk about for the other two. Rambo 5. Why do we need it? We don't. But they're finally finishing up production on that. Or shooting.
Oh, I got a quick tidbit we can throw out there because I mean, last calls are probably going to be nothing, but did anybody see the Good Morning America with Kevin Smith?
I did not.
Kevin Smith has visited the set of episode 9, and as he put it, J.J. Abrams is doing God's work. He says the movie will be epic. He got some plot points. He got to see what he said was a career building or career high performance by one of the actors. So looking forward to that. I bet you it was Adam Driver.
Yeah, but he also said that getting back on the set for The Force Awakens was taking him back to his childhood, and that didn't seem to hold true for most everyone who watched it. So
I don't know. It felt right. I mean, it felt more right than say The Last Jedi, and I like The Last Jedi.
Didn't he also have amazing things to say about Batman v Superman?
No, he's had amazing things to say about Ben Affleck's casting in the suit. I don't think he ever said anything about the movie itself until after it came out.
well, I am hopeful that a lot of things will be kind of tied together and whatnot in the next Star Wars film. So maybe Kevin Smith is giving us some good news, or he could be just trying to build up the hype train.
Oh, well, I don't know who if anybody listening or watching follows any of the crazy rumors, especially that I think it's First Order News blog or whatever it is. They constantly with this crappy videos with the guy who has a weird voice, but they've been spouting all these rumors and stuff from supposed insiders, and one of them was that Rey and Kylo Ren have it's set 5-6 years in the future. It's a time jump, and that Rey and Kylo Ren have a baby, and blah blah blah. And then not too long after that, I guess, or just recently, Daisy Ridley was asked about that, and she's like, "Yeah, there is no Reylo. There never will be Reylo." He goes, "Rey embarrassed this dude. She cut his balls off, and there is no romance between Rey and Kylo."
I hope not. The idea of Reylo is just bleh.
It doesn't make any sense, and it's very manipulatively abusive when you actually see some of what the folks have made about it. It's like, guys, maybe you should question this.
These are probably the same people that are in love with the Joker Harley romance.
Probably.
So is First Order News like the Midnight's Edge or Doomcock of Star Wars?
Nah, they're the Mary Sue of Star Wars.
I don't know. I don't even want to get into the Doomcock thing because that's just ridiculous. And the fact that anybody takes somebody who uses the name of Doomcock seriously just needs to have their head evaluated.
Well,
I mean,
let's see. Midnight's Edge used Doug Fitz and Leslie Owens as sources.
yes, because Leslie Owens has inside information from CBS and all that because she wrote the homoerotic Star Trek story once, and it's poorly written at that.
And let's see, Doug Fitz he's in what, like South Africa or something, supposedly?
I don't know, but it's just the ridiculous nature that these people, Midnight's Edge and Doomcock, have gone out of their way to say that CBS All Access is a failure and Discovery is a failure and all that kind of stuff. It's like it's winning an award for the highest viewed streaming television show. It's got, I mean, CBS All Access is making money. They've just promised that there will be more content coming out, and they're upping the production stuff for CBS All Access.
Discovery is the whole reason we're getting the Picard series and other Star Trek, because they figured out that they have to have new episodes of Trek year round, because yes, the subscription numbers did drop off after Discovery because a lot of people did like what Tank did. They did, just the few months for Discovery.
Yep, and now I'm gonna do it again.
Well, I'm just looking forward to a Star Trek series written by the Rick and Morty guys.
Well, it's also gonna have the input of a successful director and fantastic actor, Patrick Stewart.
I'm talking about the Lower Decks cartoon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're talking about Lower Decks, right?
I'm not terribly familiar with that.
Well, they're doing a comedy, kind of, I guess, like Rick and Morty, based in the Star Trek universe, written by the Rick and Morty guys.
Isn't it like about like the janitors and plumbers of Starfleet and stuff?
Yeah, it's about the low end. It's about the guys that live on the lower decks, the enlisted crewmen, not the enlisted crewmen, but yeah, that kind of stuff. Basically, it's like anybody who would be below Chief O'Brien, and it's supposed to be funny.
I don't know if you read that one comic. There's no one below Chief O'Brien.
Well, there was Nog.
No, you guys haven't read the webcomic. I'll have to see if I can find it. It's hilarious.
Well, to go back to the Star Trek Picard, because we don't have an actual title for it yet. And amusingly enough, Burrito's like, oh, they're definitely not gonna name it Star Trek Picard. It would be hysterical if they actually did.
But supposedly that's what they're going with.
Well, it's
At
definitely
least
going to be
for
based
right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be based with Picard, but actually calling it Star Trek Picard, it's like, wow, you guys really aren't trying really hard on this one.
Well, they should call it Star Trek Make It So.
That'd be kind of fun.
That's
We don't
like
know anything about it, though. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That'd be like the perfect title. It's like Star Trek Make It So.
And then it just segues over, instead of seeing a ship flying through the air or through space, you just see Picard sawing away.
That comes out, they're saying, the end of next year, right?
Yes. Discovery would be early next year, next month. And Picard will be in the fall. So they're going to be busy this coming year.
Excellent.
Dorn says he'll only guest star if it's substantial.
I hear I was mentioned.
Yes, about your Star Trek Picard.
This is the best burrito I've ever eaten. Yum, yum, yum.
Oh, man, if I'd known you were coming, I would have had the burrito animation going, but I don't.
You mean
Dude.
You actually made one?
I have it drawn. And for those who are listening, this is Don Burrito. He has just appeared. But yes, there is a burrito drawn. I just haven't added it to the set yet.
Do you at least have my theme music?
No, it's not queued up or ready to go, but I can get it.
No,
I'm apologetic.
okay.
We're running on OBS now. I haven't.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's a work in progress. Budgets.
Have you seen the stream yet? You should turn on, check it out right now. I mean, we're fully
I'm
animated.
not watching it right at the moment, but yes, I have seen it.
It's gotten better.
Yes, it's better.
I'm also stupidly, as we're talking, in a Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout session. So
why would you play? Oh, I've watched people play that game. It's seriously mind-numbing.
For a man who has cluster headaches, maybe that's why he plays it.
Honestly, though, I love this game. It's definitely, in my opinion, the best Call of Duty we've had in a few years.
Now, I've only seen people play, I think, the Strike or whatever it is, where you just chase after the other team and that's it. It's like you guys run around the map. People are running around the map shooting each other, and that's the only thing they do. And it's kind of like I've been watching Battlefield 5 because I was going to buy Battlefield 5. It's like, wow, this looks incredible. And then I watched people play it here on Twitch, and I was like, it literally is chasing your tail the entire time. You are chasing, and it's like, we captured objective C, go capture D. The enemy has captured objective C. Oh, we got to go back and get. I'm like, they're chasing their tail the entire time. I was like, this is ridiculous. Why would you keep doing this to yourself? Visually, it's insane. Visually, it is just really nuts.
Oh yeah, even on
a
this,
little like that.
No, what I was gonna say, like even Call of Duty here with even in the Blackout mode, it's their huge battle royale mode. This is a huge freaking map, that they actually did a really good job of, like fitting in a bunch of the old existing maps from the previous games, like as part of the overall map. But the thing's huge. You start, with 88 to 100 active players. And even with all that, visually the game is amazing. Now, I mean, of course, I am on a, rather decent video card, but still.
I don't know. I think graphically it looks cartoony compared to some of the other first-person shooters out there. It's very. What's with those outfits? The tiger stripe paintings on your face and stuff. That's ridiculous. I mean, if you're a
Stuff
black
you can
ops,
get. You don't have to if you don't want to.
if you're black ops, you'd be wearing the most blend-in stuff. I mean, these guys are running around in neon costumes.
It just makes you look cool. That's all. But anyways, I came in though to I really don't think the new Picard series is going to be called Star Trek Picard, and if it is, then yeah.
I say they should call it Star Trek. Make it so. But it most likely will be Star Trek Picard.
You know Picard's other well-known phrase though.
Earl Grey.
No. Star Trek. Oh yes. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's a compilation video that I think it was actually used in a BBC America commercial for them showing TNG. But yeah, he has said, "Oh yes," like that dozens of times throughout TNG.
Oh yes.
Yes, but that leads to a different kind of show, and we probably don't want that. Unrelated, I'm going to totally hijack this. So, a man in New York was arrested for firing a Civil War cannon at his neighbors for 8 days during a dispute.
An actual cannon.
Here.
An actual Civil War cannon. He loaded it with a powder charge and wadding, and they've apparently had an ongoing dispute. And so, as part of his venting, he would fire the cannon at the neighbor.
I see nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
It's probably a violation of noise ordinances.
Well, he was arrested. What was it for? Hang on a sec. Yeah, it's not illegal to own a cannon in Jamestown, New York, but it was confiscated because it was used maliciously. Apparently, he lives in the rural town of Cantoni. I don't know how you pronounce it. On the Pennsylvania border, about 60 miles south of Buffalo. And he had fired at the homes of multiple neighbors, but his wrath was directed toward one for more than a week. And
Was he
charged?
firing?
Well, they didn't. The details of the dispute haven't been released, but he was charged with 3 counts of second-degree menacing and 3 counts of second-degree harassment.
Okay, so he wasn't actually firing cannonballs. He was just
The wadding.
loading up powder.
Yep, the wadding and powder, and just boom! Oh God, he's doing it again.
What
By
is
the
wrong with
way,
people?
That's a very loaded question.
But Tish.
But yes, I did want to ask real quick before I head out, though. Did y'all talk about the latest news regarding the lawsuit against Discovery?
Oh, the tardigrade dude? No, that's such crap that we don't even worry about it.
Okay,
No,
that's
but
fair.
we are going to discuss Bethesda before we wrap up for the evening.
Well, one more thing real quick I was going to say. Did you see the latest news from CBS as far as, they talked about not only when the Picard series would debut, but also about how they are going to be heavily continuing to invest in All Access over this next year?
Yes, we just talked about that.
Okay. Just checking. Sorry, I will listen later.
It's all good, man. It's all good. No, I mean,
you later.
the aspect of CBS and people losing their minds over Les Moonves or whatever his name is getting canned. Yeah, I mean, there are people who take way too much. They're taking that and his being fired for sexual misconduct or whatever it is, and then transposing that onto their dislike of Discovery is quite funny. They're using, and Doomcock does that, and Midnight's Edge does that. It's like Les Moonves and blah 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 blah. It's like, he got fired for sexual harassment and misconduct. Has nothing to do with the content on Discovery and on All Access.
They also seem to think that he was the only single executive that they had at CBS, that was interested in pushing Star Trek. Obviously, that's not the case.
Yeah, well, don't tell that to I'm not going to say it the way. I mean, it's dumb, whatever. There's a word that can be used instead of
DC.
doom cock. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like, you know what, dude? At least our avatars kind of look like us, and we don't have to wear a mask.
By the way, I'd like to state for the record, I lost a lot of respect for Nicholas Meyer doing that long interview with Midnight's Edge. Just saying.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe he was told he needed to.
God's honest truth, he probably had no idea who they were.
Oh, most
Probably.
likely.
And it sounds like he spent most of the interview trying to not support their Discovery views.
Yeah, he was kind of shooting him down at every angle he could. It was just like, well, don't you? It's like, no. But either way, I mean, some people, I don't get their whole. It's not my start. Then don't watch it. Don't pay for it. Don't watch it. But let other people enjoy it and shut up.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm still encountering a ton of people that flat out refuse to watch Discovery, and even as excited they are about it, they're flat out refusing to watch the Picard series because of it being on All Access. I'm like, people, look at it this way. You could wait till the season's out, pay $6. Yeah, you'll have to see a few commercials, but pay $6 and binge it at the end of the season. You're paying $6 for, with season 2 of Discovery, 13 hours approximately of content. That's a whole lot more than you'll see in a movie for a whole lot less.
That's what I'm doing.
They need to realize that without All Access, we probably don't get another Star Trek series.
They don't care. They feel that All Access monetizing Star Trek is wrong.
But
Because that's, because businesses aren't supposed to make money, apparently.
The problem is that's why I get upset whenever Fox launches some new high concept sci-fi show, because unless it pulls insane ratings or is protected by whatever contract McFarlane has with them, it's only gonna last a season or two because Fox gets fed up with how much science fiction costs to film.
Yep. I'm going to be generous and give Orville, I'm going to say it's going to have 3 full seasons, but I highly doubt it'll go past that. As much as I like it, I don't see them continuing it past that.
I love Orville. I think if Fox launches a streaming thing before Orville goes off the air, that would be a prime candidate to transition to a streaming platform.
Does not Disney get that kind of stuff for in the purchase of Fox? Don't they get Fox TV as well?
Yes, they do. They don't get the news and they don't get the sports, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the news and sports that were not
But
included.
I don't think they get the local channels either. I'm not 100%.
But they get Fox and they get Hulu.
Which makes the question, why do you need
partial
Disney
stake in Hulu,
whatever?
at least?
Because Hulu is part of Fox.
Fox's stake in Hulu would give Disney, I believe, a majority of Hulu.
Yeah, isn't it Fox and ABC and even NBC, that are all basically partners in Hulu.
Okay, so here's what we got. Assets to be acquired by Disney, the Fox Entertainment Group, which includes 20th Century Fox, 20th Century Fox Animation, Fox Searchlight Pictures, Fox 2000 Pictures, the Fox Television Group, which is the studios, the television, FX networks, National Geographic Partners. All right, that's a good one. They get the Fox Networks Group International. I don't know what the hell the Endomol Shine Group is. They'll have a 60% stake in Hulu after the merger. Star India, Tata Sky, and TrueX.
I don't even know what those last few are. Yeah.
That sounds like one of those channels you have to pay for down in or up in the really high numbers.
Beats me, man. There's assets to be spun off to Fox, which would be, obviously Fox Broadcasting Company. the television stations group, so they don't get the stations, the Fox News Group, Fox Sports Media, and the 20th Century Fox Studio lot, which will be leased by Disney.
Really? That part's kind of interesting.
And then there's some assets that are just going to be divested entirely. Sky PLC, Fox Sports Network, or networks, the Yes Network, and A&E Networks Europe. So now that we've updated everybody on what Disney's empire has grown into,
they just better have the 20th Century Fox logo before episode 9. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's supposed to all be completed by the early part of next year, so I don't see why they couldn't.
That would just
why
be
would they though?
Because that's Star Wars. You knew. I mean, it was like there was the Fox fanfare. Then there was the a long time ago.
I know, but that doesn't mean that they're just automatically going to have, the 20th Century Fox there. I mean, unless they are actively part of the development, which I highly doubt they would be. I don't think they're just going to stick them there to stick them there,
Why not? I mean, quite frankly, Disney, if they wanted to, could just use it as a brand, and they can do whatever they want, which is kind of similar to what Lucasfilm is, LucasArts is. It's just a brand now. They can do whatever they please.
They can use Fox to distribute the Star Wars movies like it always was. I mean, that's why they could not put episode 4 into anything that they sold, because it wasn't available to them. It was sold by Fox. Now that they have the rights back to all of the original Star Wars films, we better be getting a 4K release of it. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, anyway, we've got about 10 minutes left. Let's wrap up with Bethesda's failure.
Or their fallout, as it would be.
But tish. The puns are free, and it drove Burrito away.
So I haven't, aside from the trash bag incident, I have only caught bits and pieces of Bethesda's total screw in the pooch.
Okay. Oh, well, there's an update to the trash bag incident. Certain Fallout influencers received the high-end bags that supposedly didn't exist.
Yeah, so that's all kind of tied together. So you got the rollout of 76, which was buggy as hell. We discussed that before. It was complete and utter crap. And yeah, well, they compound it with the collector's edition fiasco, which is the trash bag incident you're talking about. It's like, you're going to get a canvas bag, and it's going to be this and this and that. And they literally show you pictures of the thing, and then bait and switch. They get a nylon bag that doesn't look anything like what they were going to get, which I'm pretty sure is considered false advertisement. And yes, Firefly, it was Clendathu levels of buggy. Well, naturally, the people who got the collector's edition screamed and hollered, as well they should. And Bethesda's attempt to correct it was to say, well, we couldn't do it. It was too costly. We don't have any of that, blah, blah, blah. And then they offered 500 in-game credits, which equals to $5 as, a token. And then, as Wolfie pointed out, some of the influencers who did not buy into the collector's edition magically somehow got these canvas bags. They're not the same bags, but they got canvas bags that were apparently too expensive to produce. Apparently, though, as of past couple days, it's come out that Bethesda will make good on their original deal. Most likely because the lawyers turned around and said, you need to do that. You actually, that's a bait and switch. That's false advertising. We can be sued and we will lose our shirts. Oh, and Firefly even breaks it down. The 500 atoms, which is the in-game currency, isn't even enough to get the postman outfit, which does include a canvas bag. So, insult to injury, you don't get your canvas bag in real life or in game with the money that you paid. $200 for the collector's edition.
I gotta
$200?
Yep.
I gotta say, I didn't. As much as Fallout 76 looked interesting and interests me now, I wasn't expecting a whole lot given the general failure of Elder Scrolls Online. I just don't know that Bethesda. MMOs are a different beast than other games, and I don't know if Bethesda is set up to run MMOs properly.
Fallout's not even really a true MMO.
I don't know. I just think it's hilarious. It's these giant games. I think the only one that has rolled out without any issues that I know of so far recently was Battlefront 5 or Battlefield 5.
Yeah, EA had a pretty big blowout. Of course, we've talked about that with Star Wars Battlefront 2. That was a massive blowout that they screwed up on.
What's really sad is that game because everybody was so upset about the whole loot crates and all that kind of stuff in game. When the game was released, all of that was gone and they never put it back. So all these people, I mean, it was just on sale for $10. There are a lot of them. I mean, they just upped. I think they said they went from like 40,000 players online to 70,000. That's a lot of sales because the game was only $10, less than $10 on their store. But a lot of people were surprised. Oh, the crates are gone. Yeah, the crates are gone. You get all that stuff by playing the game now. All the stuff that was in the loot crates you had to pay for, now you can get just by playing the campaign.
Yeah, but as I understand it, originally they were in there, and so it was just ridiculous amount of cost. Matter of fact, you talked about it.
Yeah, I did. They were there. And I mean, it was in the beta. It was there in the beta, and you had to pay for them. But now anything that you want to get, you pay with in-game credits, which are fairly easy to earn, or you play the campaign and you get a lot of stuff just playing the campaign. I have stuff that you have to grind away for ages on. But I just got them by playing the entire campaign a couple of times and finding all the hidden stuff. And all of a sudden, oh, guess what you did? You unlocked this. You unlocked that. Awesome. I've got these things now. That's pretty cool. You don't have to pay for anything. The game, you pay for the game, and everything else is done within the game system itself. There is no extra cost.
Which is the way it should be.
Star Trek Online, we're looking at you.
Star Trek Online, the Old Republic.
I was just gonna say Star Trek Online is definitely at that point, because while I am generally the same level as Tank and several of the other people we play as, I don't stand a chance against them like when we do the for fun PvP and stuff, because I don't have all the fancy stuff that they have acquired and paid for over the years.
Well, to be fair, a lot of the stuff that I got, I didn't really pay for it. Tade's got a lot more of the stuff. I didn't buy that many ships beyond the ones that were in the major expansions, and that's only for 2 of them. I didn't actually buy the Romulus, Legacy of Romulus one. So
I think I have 3 premium ships. 2 of those were from when they were giving everybody premium ships, and then Trekkie bought me the Vizier.
That's true. That was a good purchase.
Now, I think it's funny that I won the contest and I was given the lifetime subscription to the game, and then they made the game free to play.
It's actually still worthwhile to have the lifetime subscription, just because there are some limits to the free to play that are in place, and you get a stipend, every month, as if you were subscribed. But I'm not actually paying into it unless I literally put more money into Zen to buy whatever.
Well, yeah, I do get a stipend. I mean, I haven't played the game in ages. I'm sure that it's collected quite a bit in there again, and I'll go in there and I'll use that to buy lockbox keys and all that. But it's kind of annoying to get the lockbox. You get a lockbox, and then you have to buy the keys. And I'm like, well, that's just stupid.
Yeah, that does drive me insane.
Well, you want to do a fairly popular STO stream, just turn all your Zen into keys and open as many lock boxes as you can. Those streams seem to be really popular with some people.
It's weird, but okay.
Yeah, wait. People just sit that's kind of like my kids watching other kids play with toys.
Or it's kind of like, the unboxing thing. I'll say, so I got this box of stuff from whatever. I'm going to unbox it and show you what I got.
Because if I remember correctly, wasn't there a controversy where one of the popular STO streamers opened like 100 crates on stream or something, and people were claiming that Stowe stacked his crates or something because he got so many premium things?
I think I heard something about that, but I don't know much about that one. It's possible.
I don't know. I know my lack of Zen is one of my other big disadvantages because I have much smaller storage than you guys do.
True. Getting the lifetime subscription does help with that. And I want to say with the Gamma expansion, you got some additional like storage spaces too. So that also helps. But I have bought additional storage space over the years just because I got all this gold-plated stuff now that came from the ships that are tier 6 that are available to get.
And let's not even talk about the pay-to-win aspects of World of Warships or World of Tanks.
Oh, dear God, yes. Yeah, I hate the grind of those games. It's why I'll start playing it, and I was like, I'm sick of this, and I leave. I understand there's got to be some kind of grind, there's got to be some kind of progression, but for the love of God, they need to work on it in the wargaming games.
Well, the problem is that the premium ships in wargaming, I mean, they're just always on a whole nother level compared to the ships that you can grind for.
Depending. I mean, like, I got the Warspite purely by chance from a super container, and it's a decent ship, but I wouldn't say it's a superior ship to others in its tier. I don't know about the tier 10 stuff. That's more of a Trekkie and Goodwin and Tade discussion. Well, yeah, Tade and Burrito for that matter, when he plays.
I haven't actually played in a while. Last I played was when we were playing Subs, the Halloween event.
Which was fun. I rather enjoyed that.
Yeah, I was surprised at how well implemented it was.
Yeah, which makes me wonder if they'll actually do a sub line, which would change a lot of the nature of that game. And Firefly, I agree with you. I don't know why gamers even tolerate that kind of grinding nonsense. Yet here we are. And yes, Jace, subs were awesome.
I don't think we're going to see a sub thing until the carrier relaunch is complete.
They still even brought back the German carrier. That was a fiasco for them. Or did they? I don't know.
I have no idea. I know that they're still working on the relaunch of the carriers, like completely changing the carrier gameplay.
Well, boys, it's that time.
Time to get our nails clipped?
Well, that and maybe it's time to say goodnight.
I don't want to. Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, well, let's see. As always, thanks to our loyal watchers who are always here and new loyal watcher. Thanks for being here, Jace and Firefly, and everybody else who's been watching our streams in the reruns. And trying to think what else. We'll be back next week, as far as I know. I will have some Bumblebee news. I will not spoil the movie since the movie doesn't come out for another week, and I'll probably get in a lot of trouble if I do it. But there'll be that. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys have anything to add or whatever, or you just want to say goodnight?
I don't think I actually have anything, as a last call. We're going to see a concert tomorrow, so that should be fun. It's specifically Lindsey Sterling.
Wolfie, you got anything?
No, I can't think of anything.
All right then. Well, I will say good night, and
Good morning.
we'll be back next week. And good morning. And good morning. Say good night, boys.
Later.
Good night.